Under a sky so blue and wide, fields stretch out on every side, with pine trees whispering in the breeze, a place that puts my soul at ease. All outdoors in Nova Scotia, where the heart roams free and wide. The country air, the open skies, nature's embraced by my side.
Hey guys, welcome back to All Outdoors Nova Scotia. I'm your host Robert. As I said in my short, I'm going to make my jerky today. Nobody really commented whether they wanted to see it or not. But I am going to do it on film so you can see it. It's not the right way. It's not the only way. It's just the way I do it. So, for no further ado, I'll adjust the camera and we'll get started. Okay guys, well, I don't think you really need to see me as long as you see what I'm doing. What I do is I put all my ingredients in a bowl first, mix it up, and then I slowly add my beef pieces one at a time, and then transfer them to a bag. That way they all get coated in the sauce front and back first. So right now I'm just going to make my ingredients. The list of the ingredients will be in the description down below when I'm done. Feel free to use it. It's just my take on it. I've dabbled, trying different recipes, and even this one I'm adjusting slightly from my original. Some of the stuff is optional. I'll tell you what is optional and what isn't, or what I think is optional, and you can go from there. Maybe work on your own. But starts with a quarter of a cup of brown sugar. Okay. Oh, and before anybody says anything, yes, I have washed my hands before I started. I just didn't do it on camera. Then I also add a quarter of a cup of corn syrup. This can be substituted for honey, or an extra cup or quarter of a cup of brown sugar. Doesn't really matter. One second, I gotta grab a spoon. Sticky. Right, let that drip in there. That's good enough. All right. Then I have a quarter of a cup of Worcestershire sauce. I'm probably not saying it right. Don't correct me. I am going to use the open bottle here first. Use that all up. And then I have a new bottle. You can open it with one hand. This is tricky. Stuff doesn't pour out of there very good. Okay. And then a half a cup of soya sauce. All right. And that's the end of my cups. So we'll just set those to the side. I won't need those anymore. Now it's on to, I'm going to add, now normally my recipe, I started out, my recipe called for a quarter of a teaspoon of liquid smoke. But I found it didn't quite have enough liquid smoke, so I'm going to up it to 3/8 or so, just to give it a little extra flavor. I also am going to up, my original recipe called for a quarter of a teaspoon of red pepper flake. But I'm going to up that to 3/8. Because we found it wasn't quite, didn't have quite enough kick. But like I said, the original was a quarter. So you can go with that if you want. A quarter of a teaspoon of cumin. Now these are technically optional. But we like it, so we're leaving it in. A teaspoon full of garlic powder. Oh, that's the onion. Sorry. So the onion is actually also a teaspoon. And like I said, a teaspoon of the garlic powder, not salt. close that back up right. All right. 2 tablespoons or teaspoons of paprika. You can use smoked paprika if you have it. I do not. A 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I use the finely ground black pepper. These 2 are also optional, but I put in a 1/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning and a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. This is the oregano. And this is the Italian seasoning. Again, these are optional. You do not have to use them if you don't want to. Try to incorporate it, the liquids with the solids, as much as you can. Now this is roughly for about a pound of beef or any other meat you prefer. Now before I handle the meat, I'm going to put on gloves. Since I have them. Okay. Now I just went to the local discount store and bought pre-sliced beef packages. If I can even open it. There we go. Already finely sliced thin, as you can see. So then I just take this, get my whisk out of the way here, and I make sure that the beef gets fully coated in the brine, and then goes into the bag. I used to put the beef in the bag and then pour the brine in there, but I found some of the sides, sometimes they would fold up or wouldn't get coated good. And I like to make sure that they all get some of the brine to start with. This can be messy, but it's very delicious. Now, I don't believe that this one package was a full pound. So I bought a second one just to make sure. I can find something to open it with, because now my gloves are slippery. There we go. Now, if you don't like yours pre-sliced, by all means, buy a roast, slice it up the thickness you prefer, or a steak, or whatever favorite cut of beef you use. You do now. I use the liquid smoke because not everybody has a smoker. When I first started making my jerky, I didn't have a smoker either. So I would use the liquid smoke, or I would go without. It doesn't really matter. It just changes the flavor slightly if you like it smoked flavored. Okay, so this all goes in the bag like this. The extra brine gets poured in, as much as you can get out of it. And that is pretty much it. This now sits in the fridge overnight. And tomorrow it will go into my dehydrator. If you do not have a dehydrator or a smoker, you can put it in the oven and crack the oven door open with a wooden spoon and set the oven at 170 or 175 for about 3 hours. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, welcome back. Well, it's the next day. I let the jerky set overnight for 24 hours, and I'm going to show you the next steps. You do not have to let it set overnight for 24 hours. They recommend at least a minimum of an hour, but I prefer the longer it sits, the more it takes the flavor of the spices that you put in. So that's what I do. But like they say, it's a minimum of an hour. But it's up to you. If you're in a hurry, you can get away with an hour. Stay tuned and I'll show you the next steps. Okay, well, so here's the bag as you saw me set it up before. So what I do, you don't rinse the jerky off, because then you're washing off the flavor that you put on. So what you do is you just take and you pat it dry on paper towel. That's what I do anyway. And but you got to try and get it as dry as you can before you put it in the dehydrator. Try and get as much of that moisture off before you start as you can. Shoot. Got ahead of myself. So you just basically flatten it out like so, as best you can. Lay it on your paper towel. And pat it dry. And then I just lay it out on my trays for my dehydrator. I usually just put one in or two per rack. Go through a lot of paper towel this way. It's a bit of a waste for that, but it's the easiest way I've found to do it. You can put them on a wire rack, cooling rack, and let them drip dry a bit, but so I'll show you the rack after I can get my gloves off, when I can move the camera. Now, my dehydrator isn't one of the fancy ones. It doesn't have temperature setting. It's one setting and then that's it. So mine goes on here, gets plugged in, turned on, and it takes about 6 hours at the setting that this one is set for. Other ones that, you might have a fancier dehydrator that you can actually set the temperature on. I don't know how long those ones take. But like I said, this one is an older one, and it takes about 6 hours for me to get through my jerky. I'm just going to go, I'll be right back. I'm just going to drain off some of this extra fluid. Sorry about that. Just Want it to drain off some of that extra liquid now that I'm getting down to the end of the bag. Also, with this dehydrator that I have, I only have so many racks, so I can only probably do about a pound or so. Like what I've got here will pretty much will fill my dehydrator. I wouldn't have wanted to buy more meat because I don't think it would have been able to hold it. Oops, sorry about that. Bumped the camera reaching over. These are the last two pieces here. I wish you could smell this. It really took on the flavor and the smells of the spices. I could have had one more strip because this isn't. This rack's only going to have one on it. But there's what it looks like when I lay it out on the racks. Now I just have to plug it in and set it going. I'll bring you back when it's all done. Okay, guys. Well, there's the jerky fresh out of the dehydrator. I decided to shut it off a little earlier and get it a little more flexible than the last time. The 6 hours when it's that thin tends to really make it hard and chewy. But this seems to be just right. I checked it with the wife and she likes it this flexy. So we're going to cut her up and that's it. Then it's just enjoy. Thanks for watching. And like always, if you like my content, please like and subscribe.
Under a sky so blue and wide, fields stretch out on every side, with pine trees whispering in the breeze, a place that puts my soul at ease. All outdoors in Nova Scotia, where the heart roams free and wide. The country air, the open skies, nature's embraced by my side. Cottage lights by the waterfront, reflecting dreams and hopes we want. Evening falls with the shades of gold, a tapestry of stories untold. All outdoors in Nova Scotia, where the heart roams free and wide. The country air, the open skies, nature's embraced by my side. River winding through the hills, songs of nature soft and still. Memories float with the morning mist, each moment feels like a gentle kiss. All outdoors in Nova Scotia, where the heart roams free and wide. The country air, the open skies, nature's embraced by my side.